Hi there, if you were looking for a comparatives and superlatives video, this is the right one. So let's start by contrasting usages. As you can see in the picture, there are two different fruits, an apple and one orange. For this image, we can use comparatives as we compared two things. Remember, comparatives work between two things or two people. Now, talking about superlatives, they are used to compare three or more things. However, they tell us which personal thing is the most of that group. Let's have a look to some examples and so to understand better. There's an image to support us, and it's this one. We have a grandmother and a girl smiling. Having this image or first sentence could be, the grandmother is older than the girl. If you notice, there are two subjects, which is the grandmother and the girl. So we have a comparative sentence. Also, there is the adjective, which is old. And you can also see the ending of the adjective, which is er in red. Er adds the adjective the meaning of superior over one subject to another. In this case, the grandmother is older than the girl. Our second sentence is the girl is younger than the grandmother. It's the same context, but we are emphasizing the girl over the grandmother, meaning that she is younger. Now, let's do another sentences by using pizza and tacos. If you're a pizza lover, you could say, pizza is more delicious than tacos. Again, if you see, we have two objects in this case, which are pizza and tacos. And we are comparing again as we have two objects. In this case, we're using delicious as our adjective. In this case, you need to use more. The other way could be tacos are more delicious than pizza, meaning the same but emphasizing tacos over pizza. Notice the word in blue in the first sentences, which is than. Than helps us to make the contrast between the two subjects or objects we are comparing. Also, you may notice that there are two different ways of making comparatives. One by adding er to the adjective and other by writing, in this case, more before the adjective. We'll see this more in detail a few minutes later, but keep that in mind. If you remember, superlatives are used to compare three or more things. Now we have this image and see how they work. In this sentence, we have the man in the middle is the tallest of all of them. And if you see the picture, you can see that's right. The man in the middle is the tallest. Our adjective in this sentence is tall, and the ending is est, which is in red. Est adds the adjective a superlative meaning. Check out this other image, and we have a bunch of different brands. One example could be, these are some of the most expensive brands in fashion. In this sentence, the adjective is expensive, and the way to make it superlative is to add the word most before expensive, which is the adjective. When we use superlatives, we need a word to make it a superlative sentence. And as you can see in these two examples, there is the word the, which is in blue. The gives this sentence a superlative meaning that we are looking for. You may notice some similarities between comparatives and superlatives when putting them in context. The key to form these sentences is based on the adjectives you use. So here are some adjective rules when using them in comparatives or superlative sentences. Here there are the adjectives we use in previous sentences. We have old, young, and tall. These adjectives are called one-syllable adjectives, and the ending for comparative sentence is er, as we already said, or for superlatives, est. There are also these other adjectives, which they were also used in previous sentences, and these adjectives are called three or more syllables adjectives. For them, we use more when talking about comparatives, when we compare, and must when we are using superlatives adjectives. It is important to mention some exceptions from now on, like two-syllable adjectives, which could be happy, busy, tilted, or toggle. You might wondering which these adjectives belong or where, and it depends on the adjective. For example, happy and busy are part of one syllable, meaning that if you use it in compare or superlative adjectives, they should have this ending, like happier or happiest. And tilted are part of the group of three or more syllables, even though they have two syllables. So keep that in mind when you are using comparatives or superlative adjectives. Some other exceptions to the rule are irregular adjectives. Fortunately, there aren't many of these. For these adjectives, the comparative form of er or the superlative of es doesn't apply, and they have their own words to compare or to add a superlative meaning. Here we have the comparative and also the superlative words for each adjective. For good, the comparative is better and superlative is best. You cannot say gooder or the goodest. And also for bad, its comparative form is worse and the superlative worst. Again, you cannot say badder or the baddest. And for far, we have two ways of saying in comparative, further or farther, and the superlative furthest and farthest. The use of one another depends on the context you are using each adjective. There are some useful examples to understand the use of irregular adjectives. The first one is Sandy's costume is better than Squidward's. You can see we are using a comparative form of good, so we use better and not the ending of er. For the second sentence, we use also the adjective good but in its superlative form. So we can say Squidward is the best sculptor. The last sentence also in a superlative form, but in this case using the adjective bad, we can say SpongeBob is the worst rapper. As you can see, our context to illustrate comparatives and superlatives will be Bikini Bottom, so I hope you find that useful. If I see these pictures, a sentence could be Sandy Tricks is stronger than SpongeBob. Now it's your turn. Look at this image and you can make your own sentence or complete this one. SpongeBob and Patrick Star are than Squidward. What could be a possible answer for this sentence? If you said funnier, that could be an adjective, or you can use happier. Now some examples with superlatives. In this image, we could make a sentence like this. Mr. Krabs is stingy in the Krusty Krab. Now it's your turn. Look at this, and you can make your own sentence or complete this one. Patrick is the star in Bikini Bottom. If you said laziest, that's the correct answer. Continue with more examples. We have these two pictures, and a possible sentence could be catching jellyfish is more dangerous than eating pretty patties. Now it's your turn to make your own sentence by looking at these two images, or you could make this one, which is Squidward is than Skilliam, or Squilliam, which is the name, and you can complete it. If you say more handsome, that's the correct answer. Now the last couple of examples. Having this image, I could say Sandy Cheeks is the most intelligent squirrel. Now, having this, you can make your own or answer this. The Krusty Krab is the restaurant in Bikini Bottom. If you said most popular, that's the answer for this sentence. Don't forget, grammar is a matter of practice. So keep practicing. I hope this lesson has been useful for you.